I do think unconditional love from parents is one of the greatest gifts you can get as a child, and I particularly credit my mother, who really raised me and who supported me emotionally and psychologically. I credit my father in not at any point making me feel that I had to go into the company to please him or to follow in his footsteps. When I was in college, I had no interest in going into any company or business and was getting ready to apply to Yale's Law and Public Policy graduate program when I went to visit my father and my life took a different turn. Well, when I joined Playboy, I only expected to stay a year or two, which frankly made it easier because nobody thought I was the heir apparent. I used to say I didn't have an MBA, but I had an MBWA, management by walking around. The assumption was that the board was going to recruit a new president to replace the president they had recruited a few years before. And that was the backdrop of my going to the board to suggest that instead they named me president. Being young, I was 29 years old, and I look back and I say, WTF? I mean, what was I thinking? My initial goal was to save the company. It was that simple and that hard. We were the first magazine to go up on the web and built a very successful multi-revenue stream digital business, and that meant leveraging the existing businesses we had, like the magazine or like the products division. I was comfortable at Playboy because Playboy's politics were my politics and my mother's politics and my generation's politics, in favor of the Equal Rights Amendment and abortion rights and gay rights and civil rights and climate action and sane gun control and the First Amendment. The first thing I would say about the Me Too movement is that I think at its best, it will hopefully cause organizations to think differently about the problem of sexual harassment. I also think we have to recognize that we have structural barriers to women rising to the top, and not the least of them is that we have no policy around paid family leave. So I work with a group called Women Corporate Directors to get more women on boards. Obviously the network and other organizations work on this as well, but I think that we do have the challenge of less turnover in board seats in this country, so I've become an advocate for average tenure. The reality is it's not about doing it because it's a nice thing to do or even the right thing to do. It's the smart thing to do. As the longest-serving female CEO of a publicly traded company, I know that the more women we have in positions like that, the more inspired young women are to believe that they shouldn't limit their aspirations. And that's what led to this chapter, which is really what I would consider more of a portfolio chapter. I feel it's a time when you have kind of the freedom and the luxury to put more effort into the things that are outside the for-profit world, which for me are things like the Center for American Progress and political campaigns and Springboard. But it also allows you in the for-profit world to choose the engagements you want to have. I really enjoyed the work I did with Canyon Ranch, and that evolved into a strategic consulting relationship where it really helped them find their voice in the larger world through TV and radio and DVDs and a robust website and apps and extending the brand through different partnerships. My criteria for what I choose to do, it starts with what I want to have a long dinner with these people. And then it's, do I find their business interesting? And then third is, do I believe that I can help them? And then the last is, am I going to learn something new? I'm a strong believer that as citizens, we all have an obligation to be involved. It means supporting candidates whose values and positions you believe in, being involved on issues that you care about, whether it's climate change or pay equity, and working for structural reform where the system fails us. So advocating for and believing in freedom of expression is a way of broadening the conversation about we need to listen to other people's points of view respectfully. I actually never think about my legacy. I have a different point of view, which is that I strive every day in all the interactions I have to do good and be my best self. When you give, you get a lot back, and there's an enormous satisfaction in feeling that you're helping to make a difference in a broader sense than just in your own life or your own family.